Hello, this is Thor Young with Bear Bull Traders, and I'd like to do a recap on my DELL trade for you today. DELL was on our watch list this morning. It had some good news as a catalyst today, so we were taking a look at it, especially since it had a nice gap up off of that news pre-market. Carlos and Norm covered this really nice, so it was real easy to look at this and feel pretty good about it having a solid move for us today. So on the 5-minute here, let me show you what I was thinking on DELL. DELL had managed in the pre-market to set up this base level here of $50.65, and it was holding this level quite nicely. So I was really looking at DELL for a long. Also, I had the bias of it being on good news, and if you look at the daily here, although it was gapped up on the daily, we were still well under VWAP, still well under the 200, and only earlier this month, we were trading all the way up close to $60. So I didn't really think there would be a massive profit taking at the open on this one, just because there were still a lot of people that are holding positions, I'm sure, from highs only earlier in the month. So what I'm looking to see here in the pre-market, just so you can kind of understand why I took this trade where I took it, is what I'm looking for is for confirmation of direction, and then that's either going to be in it making a new low and then pulling up and coming back to that low, or it's going to break through and wick right back up. Now, as I talk about with my descending triangle patterns, when I look at those, what I like to see, if you can look on this 5-minute, is I like to see multiple touches of the same price level to see it signal it's going to break out. I also use that same concept to judge reversals. Because what happens is, you can see here, we are kind of descending into this 50.63, but then you see it wick through on the 5-minute and break back up. That's our signal right there. Not to mention on the montage, you had quite a few of orders starting to stack up to the high side. So on the 1-minute, what I saw is you had this low, right, as it broke through, and after it broke through, it came right back up to that range, and then it didn't make a new low on the 1-minute. So after it did not make this new low and it pushed back up, let me zoom in so you can see, I put a limit order out at 50.86. I chose 50.86 because the previous candle closed at 50.85. So I wanted to make sure it at least made a new high on this previous candle before I went long, and then my risk was a break of this average, break of the price level that I was originally respecting. So it came up here, I got long, it came in, settled in nicely in the averages, it held, came in below me for just a second, but I wasn't worried about it because the orders were really starting to flood in, a lot of green orders, and then it popped, came through quite nicely, and then I did a market fill here. You can see it split on me, got a little bit better here, but I'll take it. And then I threw a limit fill out at 51.55 just because it was above the psychological number. And then one more fill at just shy of $52. So at that point, I was well into this position. I had taken about 50% of my position off at that point, because each one of these partials is, around 10 to 20%. And then you'll see my next partial on DELL wasn't up until $53. So I got a real solid partial at DELL at $53, and then I went ahead and I took a little bit off there. Actually, I took a lot off there, almost my entire position, and now I'm holding my last 10 or 15% just to see what we do. My entry's way down here, so this is also going to be my stop out. There's a good chance it's going to come back and get me, but I've already made a few $100s on DELL today just off of this one trade, so she's a one and done for me today, and I just wanted to show you the indicators that I use to feel comfortable taking that trade so that I could get on a $50 stock a real nice $2 move real fast. So you can imagine in, 5, 10, 15 minutes, I had already taken at least 200 of my shares, the full run of the $2. So even on only 500 shares, you can make quite a bit of money on a trade like this. So I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope you're all staying green. Thanks.